Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So welcome to our Sunday Bhagavad Gita program. How many people are here coming for the first time? Okay, very welcome. And after this, we'll have prasadam and book table, many books speaking with the same content that what we are discussing. Okay, we also have daily morning programs, 7:15 puja and 7:45 Bhagavatam lecture here. All are welcome. Today our topic is, should we get into spiritual life now at a young age, or postpone it till later? That's the question. Okay? Shouldn't we enjoy now while we are having opportunity and become enlightened later in life, postpone it? That's what many people say. Okay, now we are all at the stage of youth, most of us, or we passed through that stage. In our present civilization, the goal of life is enjoyment, as much as you can. Just enjoy. That's the purpose of our education system. Get a good job, get a lot of money so we can enjoy, and the government advancement, more facilities for enjoyment. So it's not surprising that at the time of youth, when we are at the prime of energy, health and intelligence, we are pushed to enjoy at this time more than any other time. That's what the society tells us, and generally the civilization. So usually this is the time of college or school, and we see, outside here we see so many attractions, cafes, cinemas, so many things, especially on weekends. So at youth we plan and think our activities, we plan our activities and think of the activities of life in such a way that we can get a good opportunity of a good life later and now also. But the way we are planning, most people, they're planning as if, the thinking, how we are living day to day, is as if we're going to be young forever, or we are going to live forever. This is the mentality. No one is thinking ahead that what happens later. In fact, there's in Mahabharata one narration how the Panch Pandavas, they came to a river to drink, and one yaksha, he told each of the brothers who came individually, first answer my question, then drink this water, or you'll die. And all of them did. They drank the water. Can you check this? And each of them died. So except for Yudhishthira Maharaj, he was serious. He asked the yaksha, what is the question? So the yaksha asked different questions. One of the questions was, what is the most amazing thing in life? Does any of you remember this? It's in Mahabharata. What was the answer? So Yudhishthira Maharaj, he answered correctly. He said, yeah? Death. Yeah, correct, he's right, death. Ahani ahani sarvabhutani gachanta iha yamalayam stavaram shesham ichanti kimascharya thaparam. That the most amazing thing is, every day we are seeing people die, but everyone is thinking, I won't die. They are living like that. Oh, we'll never get old. So, generally, when we are planning our life, people don't plan about spirituality. That was a past age. In the past, it was very strong culture in India, from young age. But now it's not like that. Generally, people don't think of this. So, we are told that just earn enough and work, get a good job, get a good package. Actually, these things are not wrong per se. But the thing is, This is not the only thing, and this is not the main thing. Okay. As if, some people, they're pushed at a young age to enjoy and just enjoy the life, don't think of anything else. As if you cannot enjoy your whole life. And in one way that is true. Materially speaking, enjoyment means using these 5 senses and body to enjoy. Now as you age, you cannot do that. So you find in materialistic societies or personalities, people become elder, they become more grumpy or angry if they're not spiritually minded, because they can't enjoy anymore, but they're seeing everyone enjoy. That is in a materialistic society. If one is spiritually inclined, they'll not be in that way. So this material world is not what it seems. We are looking at this world with the eyes. These eyes. These eyes are very limited. Now the light is off. I cannot see past that window. When the lights are off, I can't see. I cannot see behind this wall. If I wake up first thing, my eyes are blurred. I can't see anything. With these eyes, what can we see? So we are judging this world with these eyes. What is life? Who am I? Everything we are judging with these eyes. But this material world that we see is not what it seems. If we want to understand it and derive the best benefit, then we should attain knowledge. We should attain deeper knowledge of this world first. And we should understand who we are. Who am I? We should understand what is this material world before making any big plan. Understand this. Just like a person told me once, he came to work in a company. He said, for 6 months, I won't do anything. I just observe. As a managerial position. For 6 months, I'll just observe everything. I won't change. I have to understand the dynamics, how things are working. This goes for anything. This Formula 1 racing, before they start, everyone goes slowly to see the circuit, to see the track. After they see the track, then they'll go fast. So similarly, we were in a big rush. We took birth in this world and made our plan and everything, but no one knows anything. What is this world? Who made it? Why was it made? Why was I here? I came here for a reason? Or am I just born just like that? There is no reason. So this has to be ascertained. First question, who am I? What is this world? What is my purpose? Okay, who am I? You see, this is a graphic picture of biometric. So who am I? Am I my Aadhaar card? Am I a biometric? If someone asks you in the airport or train, who are you? You give your Aadhaar card. But that's connected to your biometric details. So we are thinking and they think this is who he is. And now what about before the Aadhaar card? You were born, before you got Aadhaar card, who are you? So someone may say, I am from this state, from this caste or this family. But that is your birthplace, your birth situation or social identification. That's not who you are. Then who are you? Now again, one way of identification is, I am child of these parents, the son of this person. So that is your parentage. Okay, still we don't know who you are. So in the Vedic age in India, this was the first education. Who am I? It's not something just to know, it's something to realize. There's something called Gyan, there's something called Vigyan. Gyan means knowledge. Vigyan means, well, it can mean science. But Vigyan means realized knowledge, when knowledge is internalized, properly understood. So we have to understand who we are in proper detail. If you don't know who you are, how can you plan? How can you plan anything effectively? So this is the first education. And in the Vedic age, this was the first thing we were taught. Now that's not there anymore, this Gurukul system, which first imparted spiritual knowledge, then later vocational knowledge, not much, few years of vocational, according to what work we'll do. Okay, so if most people are thinking that I am this body, This body is me. If we think like that, then we are going to plan everything according to the body. Then this is a problem, because something is going to happen in the middle of our life. It's called midlife crisis. Have you heard of something like that? It used to be that at a certain stage in life, people are working, earning, living, and some stage they start to ask questions. What am I working for? Or why am I earning? Why was I born? Why is there suffering? So this was termed in Western psychological field as midlife crisis. It's something that, hey, don't worry, go back to your work. Don't think of these things. It's like something is wrong with this guy. Why is he asking? But actually we are coming to knowledge, isn't it? We are starting to ask the questions. So this was called midlife crisis. The problem is, this midlife crisis is come back many years. Now, right within college or just after college, people are asking, and who am I? Why was I born? What is the purpose? And they are not so happy about that. So they become disenchanted, not part of society, and then psychologists are saying this is some problem. It's not a problem. Person has come to knowledge. They've come to the proper knowledge. They want to know now what is the reality of this world. So as I said, this is the first education. And if we are going to make a plan thinking I'm this body, then there's going to be a big deficiency in our life, because we, according to the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, the Veda, and many Western philosophers, we are not this body. We have nothing to do with this body. But we are now residing within this body. We are a soul, according to Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita says, I am a soul trapped in the body, in the area of the heart. In Mundak Upanishad also, Atmasya Janti Nihito Guhayam. The Atma, soul, is living in the area of the region of the heart here. So, Gita says, I am this, I am a soul, I am a spirit. In this creation, there are two kind of materials, matter and spirit. Matter is something solid like this. Sanskrit we say jad, dull matter. There's nothing animate. Jad, other is the chinmay vastu, the spiritual energy. Spiritual energy is ujjwal, it gives out a light, it is effulgent, it is conscious, and that is I, you, souls. So we are not matter, we are souls. Now, if I know I am a soul, next stage is I have to find out about this soul. We need education of the soul. It's not there today. Nobody can sit and explain you what is the Atma, how is it in the heart, where it came from, where it expanded. This is given in Vedanta Sutra, this is given in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in Bhagavad Gita, in great detail. And this is called education. Education is knowing who I am, why I am here, what is my purpose. This is lacking. Now if we begin our life and make our plan, but we don't integrate this knowledge, then we'll hit a roadblock one day. That okay, I'm living, okay, I got all these things, okay, I achieved my dream. So what? What is the purpose? Now what shall I do? What is next stage? And whatever material enjoyment we have, it's limited. After some time, it won't work, doesn't work. Then the question comes. So right from a younger stage, one has to ask this. Why am I, Atma, trapped in this body? Why am I undergoing birth and death and suffering? And this Atma, me, how can I be happy? This is a big question, because everything we do is looking for happiness. Practically everything we are doing. You can stop anyone on the road. Where are you going? To the post office. Why? To post this letter. Why? To get a job offer. Why? So I can get money. Why? So I can spend the money this and that way. Why? Then I can be happy. Everything we are doing is motivated by happiness. Okay, even if you search out why you came here, why you are studying here, everything. So, we'll go to the root directly. What makes you happy? No long, big effort. We want immediate answer. What makes me happy? Shastra tells us this. Scripture tells us. Okay? This is spiritual knowledge. This is the knowledge which we should have attained many years back, which till now we don't have. And somehow we're going through life like a driverless car. I'm not talking about these Elon Musk cars. They also don't have drivers. But somehow car is moving without the driver, out of control. That's a problem. So I'm moving this body, moving around in this world according to my whim, what I want to do, what I want to eat, where I want to stay, but not coming to the actual knowledge of who I am, why I should be. So this is spiritual knowledge. And if we think that I'll enjoy now, I'll get this knowledge later, then later life is over. Later, my whole life is gone. Now I'm going to start reading, then how do you apply it? This is the time. In fact, we are late. We are very late. What time does spiritual knowledge start? Let's see what Srimad Bhagavatam says. Bhagavad Puran. There in the 7th canto, Prahlad Maharaj. Whose devotee is he? Nrsimhadev, Nrsimha Avatar. New movie coming now, Nrsimha Avatar. So, his greatest devotee, Prahlad Maharaj, he quoted a verse. He was preaching to his students, fellow students in the Gurukul. And he quoted this verse. Okay. Now, the topic is, at what age we should get knowledge. Here, Prahlad Vacha Kaumaram Acharet Pragyo Dharman Bhagataniha Dullavam Manusham Janma Tad Apya Dhruvam Artada. Prahlad Maharaj said, one who is sufficiently intelligent should use the human form of body from the very beginning of life. In other words, from the tender age of childhood to practice activities of devotional service, giving up all other engagements. The human body is most rarely achieved. And although temporary, like other bodies, it is meaningful. Why? Because in the human life, one can perform devotional service. Even a slight amount of sincere devotional service can give one complete perfection. Okay? Prahlad Maharaj was a devotee from a young age. He was age 5 when he spoke this. Now, the question is, because we are saying when to do spiritual life. Shall we do it later or now in youth? But Prahlad Maharaj is saying, Kaumaram, the second line, Kaumara Achare Pragyo. Kaumar, they are stages of life. Kaumara means till age 5. After that is Pogand. Okay, then I think is Kishore, like that. They are stages of life. In Sanskrit it's given. So Kaumar age is till 5th year. Prahlad Maharaj is saying from age 5 we should start spiritual life. Dharman Bhagavatan. What is that? Bhagavad Dharma is the occupation or duty of the Atma, soul. There are duties pertaining to the body, that is Varnashram. Then there are duties pertaining to the soul. The bodily duties, they are known as Naimitic Dharma because they don't last long. They last only one lifetime and then we change. We may change the next birth, be a different gender, a different birth, different family. But there's another thing called Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan means eternal. That pertains to the duty of the soul, Atma. Atma doesn't die, only body dies. Body dies and then Atma takes another body. So now the duty pertaining to the soul is called Sanatan Dharma or Bhagavad Dharma, which is, the duty is to serve Vishnu, to serve God. So Bhagavad Dharma is the topmost of the Vedic teaching. Vedas have a lot of teachings. But finally, Bhagavad Dharma is how we, Atma, get liberation, come out of this cycle of birth and death, and come to a very auspicious position of directly serving God. It's called Bhagavad Dharma. So, Prahlad Maharaj is saying, this education of Bhagavad Dharma should be gotten at Kaumar, age 5, when one is sufficiently intelligent. It says here. Because young children, they'll do anything, they'll say anything, but at a certain stage they get some intelligence and you can speak with them. So at that stage, immediately you have to start Why so fast? Well, first of all, someone asked Srila Prabhupada, founder of ISKCON, why are so many young people in your movement, even those years? He said, that's the age for learning. Why are you in college now? Why don't you come in college at age 50? It will not be so easy. This is the age to learn. This is the age to form your character. So, spiritual knowledge should start age 5, age 7. Immediately, we have to mold the character. We have to get the proper outlook in life. Who am I? What is this world? What is my duty? If we don't get it from Shastra, we'll get it from Bollywood. That will be a problem. Or we'll get it from Hollywood. So this is the problem. Now, the role models of men and women are these actors and actresses, and that has done a big mess to the, especially marriage institution, general social institution. And there's a big gap in our society of this knowledge, higher knowledge of spirituality. It's been totally taken out. So, previously, if you go back at least 50 years, even 100 years, here in this land, everyone was educated on this knowledge. Why? Because from young age they'll all go to the Gurukul, then go on with their life. The whole population was fixed and controlled. So if we have to make a proper plan for our life, we are in young age now, we want to see our life and plan it, then we have to understand these points. We have to understand who we are. What is the world? What is the purpose of this world? Everything has a purpose. This fan has a purpose. TV has a purpose. Computer. Mic stand has a purpose. What is the purpose of the body? What is the purpose of the world? People who don't know will say there's no purpose. We don't know. How do you know? So, from a young age, here we are being informed by Prahlad Maharaj, from age 5, not even youth, pre-youth, young, from age 5, one should understand, one should become enlightened. Later on, Prahlad Maharaj, he quotes another verse. Nate vidu svargatim hi vishnum durashaye bahirartha manina. He says, these people, the leaders of today, the leaders of society, nate vidu, they don't understand the goal of life is to attain Vishnu. They don't understand goal of life is to attain spiritual perfection. And so, it says, Bahir Artha Manina. They have taken this external world as everything. You know, I am seeing with my eyes some gold. So I think, let me take the gold, make it into jewels and wear it, let me put it on the door. Then I see an ocean. Oh, let me build a boat and go, let me build a water scooter and enjoy there. And they're just seeing this world and being attracted. And thinking, this is the value thing in this creation. Bahir Artha Manina. They think it's something of importance. Well, it is to the extent that we can make a livelihood and earn money. But what is the Swarth Gatim? Swa-arth means for the person, the best wealth is when he attains spiritual knowledge and comes out of this cycle of birth and death. When he comes out of this material world, this is the greatest destination. Swarth Gatim. He, Vishnu. So Prahlad Maharaj says later in this verse, they don't know. They means our modern leaders. If this was in Treta Yuga. Now it's Kali. You can imagine what happened. All those years, it got worse. That the problem is the leaders don't understand the goal of life. So people have taken shelter that andhe yatha andhe upaniya manina. You can imagine a person's blind and he wants someone to guide him, and he goes to another blind person, can you guide me? He says, okay. How? It will not work. So we have taken shelter of philosophers, scientists, or politicians who are telling us what to do in life. But they don't know. They don't know what the goal of life is. They're just seeing this world and judging. Okay, young people, now you study, get a material education, get a job, this is life. But actually when we look in this knowledge, we have seen much deeper things. Other things are there. So in this Here we can only overcome suffering and be happy according to Shastra. Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad says, soul is spiritual. So the activity should be spiritual and their occupation, duty should be spiritual. Then he'll be happy. What is the cause of suffering in this world? Very simple, Shastra says. It's us trying to identify with the material body and trying to manipulate the material world. When we do that, we become very upset because we are not in our natural spiritual condition. And then we make great effort to be happy, again on the material platform. But all we have to do is come back on the spiritual platform. So according to Bhagavad Gita, we can only overcome suffering and be happy through spiritual knowledge and spiritual practices because we are spiritual beings. Atma, soul, we are Atma. Atma is spiritual. I am in this body, driving the body, as one drives a car. When someone drives a car, the car is not really of value, it's the person. He's driving. Supposing the car's parked badly, I won't tell the car, can you move? I understand. The driver's the driver, he's the actual controller, so I'll go to the driver, can you move? Sometimes people may come from a jungle or some place where they've never seen a car. Then when they see a car, they're wondering, how is this car moving? When we move, we need a horse. This thing is just moving, cannot understand. And is it just the metal moving? Is someone inside? They'll conclude it's just a car, metal of junk. In North America, we heard in the early days when the settlers came from Europe, they built the train. And whenever the train would come, all those local people run away. They're thinking this big dragon is coming with a small. They couldn't understand what it is. So similarly, we, in ignorance, are seeing the bodies and thinking these bodies are moving, these bodies are eating. We don't understand about the driver. This is the knowledge required. Spiritual knowledge about the driver, about the soul. Where the soul came from. And how he got trapped in this body. It's a big topic. According to Shastra, Aham Brahmasmi, I am spirit. Brahm means spirit. Aham Brahmasmi. So, spiritual happiness is called Brahma Sokyam. It is much, much, much more than material happiness. Bhagavatam speaks about material happiness being tuchcha. They use this word, tuch. Tuchcha means insignificant, something you cannot consider. That is the material happiness that we are seeking. Whereas spiritual happiness is like an ocean. If I require water and I get an ocean, it's so great, much more than what I need. So people don't have this knowledge. By following spiritual principles in our life, we become happy automatically. We don't have to seek after happiness. Happiness is a natural condition of the soul. Anandamayo bhyasat. The soul, just like a light, is naturally effulgent. Fire is naturally hot and naturally effulgent. So Atma is naturally supposed to be happy. Some way we miscalculated, the happiness got blocked, now we are seeking it. We are seeking it all through this life after life, seeking that happiness and going wherever we think we'll find it. But if we follow spiritual principles in our life, automatically we'll become happy. Automatically, without endeavoring, because we come back in our original constitutional position. In Sanskrit it's called Vastavik Sthit. The original position of the soul is to be in a spiritual existence, connected to serving God. Also, if we are automatically following religious and Vedic principles, we become happy because Veda is known as Veda Narayan Sakshat. It is directly Vishnu. It's a text form of Vishnu. So, by following it, it pleases God and automatically we become happy. As I mentioned many times, if you go back a few generations here in India, there was no what we call entertainment industry. So does it mean everyone was in deep depression and stressed out? No, they were okay. They didn't need it. But as we move away and away from the tradition, the culture, religious principles, then we will need a lot of effort to be happy. We'll need a great effort, money, and to do that. So we are informed in Shastra. Simply by following the principles, we'll become happy. What does Veda say about Kali Yuga now? The Veda, it says that to take shelter of an avatar of Krishna known as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, and chanting Hare Krishna mantra, reading specifically Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, and there are certain principles that we practice which will make us happy, which will make us not need to search for this happiness. Because now our question is, shall I enjoy or become spiritual and enlightened? The question is, why do you want to enjoy? This is the first question. If you want to enjoy, the question is, you are not happy. So now next question is, why aren't you happy? Why are you going to seek that happiness? Before I start to act to get that happiness, I have to ask the question, why am I not happy? Why do I have to go after this happiness? Something is wrong. If I'm feeling cold, so I will get a jacket. First of all, why am I cold? Oh, the window's open. AC is on a very low temperature. Fan is on. So why are you missing the happiness that you have to seek after it? This is the first question. So this is the first thing. We will be happy finally if we follow the spiritual principles given in the Vedas. Now, despite all of this information, some people may still be fixed that, no, we want to enjoy this life, this youth. It doesn't seem natural. Why should I got all this energy? I got my good looks, I got my energy and intelligence. So let me enjoy, do something. Later I'll not have it. So till I have it. So, okay, let's go further. Now, there is a principle to understand. If you want to consider sense enjoying, this is karma. It's a big consideration. Previously, at birth, everyone, it was normal. You take the horoscope of the child, understand who the child is. Parent will understand who is this soul came to us and prepare him. This is his inclination, this is from what problems he'll get, this is what his strengths are, weaknesses. It's a great gift of Veda to give us a divine eye into the, you can say, kind of future of this child. Because everyone understood karma. I have my plan, but what about the karma? What will it do to me in the future? At any step, every step there's a danger in this material world. There's a shloka in the Bhagavatam which says padam padam yad vipadam. That is saying that in every step in this material world there's danger. In what sense? In the sense that I am just under my karma. What age will I get sick? Will I have an accident? Anything will happen. Anything will happen. So that is the role of karma. So now whenever we are planning anything, we have to understand about this karma. Our life is predestined, but not 100%. It is predestined in the sense, for example, I'm born in a certain family, in a certain country, religion, and culture, with certain intelligence and skills, or no skill, whatever, depending on my karma and ichcha, depending on my activities in past life and my desires. So I took birth. Why is one born rich, another poor? This is a good question to ask anybody outside the Vedic path. Why is one born rich and one poor? Why is one tall, one short? Why is one born in America, one in Europe? Why is one diseased and one is healthy? One is very intelligent, one is average intelligence. It's a good question because the child is born. You can't blame it on the poor child. Oh, you did something wrong. I'm just born. I'm born in this war. I'm not getting food, I'm not getting water, age 2-3 years old. Generally, if you ask, they'll say it's something you did wrong. The child is just born. They cannot explain it. This is explanation, past life. Karma is accrued from the past. Our life is predestined. Thoughts, activities of the past, this is the fruit, phal. You plant a seed, you get the tree, branch, finally you get the fruit. Fruit is the result of the planting. So the result of all my past life is this fruit. How is it? It can be very sour or sweet, whatever. So in this life we may plan. We may plan to get rich. We may plan to get a top job, prestige, fame. But it depends on our karma. It depends on karma. It doesn't mean that we not have the capability, but we may have to struggle for it more. Other person will not struggle. Certain planets are, what are they known in Sanskrit? Graha. Actually that word, if you analyze, it is coming from a root influencing, to influence. That is the root word. So the planets are influencing us. A lot of the wealthiest people of India, they didn't do degrees. Of course, you have the very top families. You can look at them or just look at the average, many rich people all over India. Just analyze, they may not have done degrees at all. This idea that I work hard and I accumulate money, I become rich, it's not supported in the Vedas. The Veda says it's destined. Even they'll give the time when money will come, money will go in your life, or you may earn a lot, but you will not have any money. Some people are like that. Somehow or other, when you want the money, it's not there. Or we may not earn, but money will come here and there. We cannot fight our karma. So the degree of our enjoyment is calculated. Once our founder Prabhupada went to London and he was going to be interviewed by an interviewer who was very known to be very cheeky and very offensive, always trying to put the interview in a difficult position. So immediately the interview started. That yes, he says, Your Holiness, you said that there is a place in hell. Have you seen it? Prabhupada, yes, London is hell. What? London is hell. Why do you say that? He said that there's no sun. It's raining. All it's cloud cover. And he said this is because the people here are sinful. They are not meant to get sun. Of course, they are meant to get money or whatever. But the sunlight is calculated in our life. Sunlight. The food we'll get is calculated. Everything is calculated. Even the enjoyment we want. You see, we all want to enjoy. You cannot enjoy as much as you are allowed. Someone may think, I'm rich now I'll get a bar in my house, but then he starts getting, what did they get, diabetes or liver problem. He can't drink, but he has a bar in the house. That was the goal. Other one will have a lot of money and he can buy anything, but he cannot eat. He has some disease of sugar and this and that. So our enjoyment is calculated, our money is calculated, sunlight, everything is calculated. You cannot push more than that. If I'm supposed to eat this much, no, I'll eat more. Indigestion, suffering, problem. So for the people who are calculating to enjoy, this is a significant point to understand. That tasya heta prateta na kovida na labhyate yad brahmatham uparyada tad labhyate dukkhavat anyatha sukham sarvata kalena gavira rangasa. Narad Muni says in Srimad Bhagavatam that people who are learned, kovida tasya heta prateta kovida, they will endeavor for that thing which they'll not get, which is that self-realization, spiritual knowledge. Tad labhyate dukkhavat anyatha sukham. But happiness, sadness will come automatically according to our karma. Don't have to run after that. Even if you run after it, you cannot get more than what is destined. It won't be possible. Something will go wrong. I want to go abroad, earn a lot of money. I earn a lot of money, but I'm paying a huge rent for the house. and the car and the tax. And it's the same if I just stayed here in Katpadi and opened a shop, I get the same money, net. So by not understanding the things, we are struggling in a wrong direction. Enjoyment through food, travel, watching movies, all this is predestined. How much we'll get, how much we won't get. So there's one quote given in Srimad Bhagavatam. The most miserable person in 11th canto in Uddhav Gita, it says, the most miserable person is the one who's seeking after material happiness. And the reason is because there's nothing like material happiness. It doesn't exist. It's something like familiar word, mythology. Actually, Shastra is not mythology. They're using that word now. It is Sat. It's history. What is mythology? Material happiness. It doesn't exist. It's some kind of software program that if I eat something, it's tasting good. It's something imaginary. It doesn't exist. So Shastra says the person actively looking for material happiness is the most miserable person in this world. Happiest person is one who is realized himself in God. Also another thing, if in this life one does a lot of sense gratification, then the next birth is given as a lower birth. But if one lives a life of austerity, the next birth he gets a higher or low in terms of spiritual position, consciousness. So he is able to get liberation easily or not so easily. Okay, so again coming to the topic. So saying now that we will be happy by spending our youth to enjoy, this is a misinformed decision. Misinformed, when people don't understand the dynamics, how things are working. That the happiness there is calculated already. I can guarantee, I heard this from a sannyasi in ISKCON, very old, he's 70s, whole life he's studying Shastra. He was in Bangalore, I was in that lecture in Bangalore. And in Bangalore there are many IT people. So he told all them, I guarantee you, all of you, leave your IT job, start a small business in your house, open a shop, you'll get the same money. What is coming to you will come. What has to come. This is the destiny. This is the understanding in Vedic culture. Therefore, they didn't have such a big elaborate arrangement for vocational training and all that. Not that we'll not do anything. And we cannot be thinking, it will come, so I won't do anything. But Bhagavad Gita says, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatutishtati akarmakrit. Nobody can remain idle. We have to get up and do something. You cannot say, I'll just sit and wait for. Some people say, if you tell them this principle, they say, I'll just sit at home and the money will come. It's meant to come. You can't do that. We, by the nature of soul, is to be active. Now, how to be active? We have to balance material and spiritual. We cannot neglect spiritual life. If we go 100% into material, then that happiness will never come. Because it doesn't come from material things. The actual happiness is spiritual happiness. Previously people knew this. Therefore, even people went through their whole life. At a certain stage, towards the later elder part of life, they withdraw and actively seek spiritual realization. But one cannot do this unless at a younger age they had some taste, some beginning. If we just say that now I'm going to become self-realized and I'm going to give up material activities, I'm talking about age 60, whatever, that people do. But you had to have had the base. So therefore, in the Vedic system, at the young age, it was, they used their intelligence, strength, everything to come to a good spiritual position. It's not that we say don't be happy. What is the motto of the Vedas? Have you heard it sometime? Who can say? Something to do with happiness. It's chanted a lot by astrologers, and Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu. Let everyone be happy. What is the final goal of the Vedas? Everyone should be happy. Be peaceful, be happy. Don't be in a disturbed state. The Veda says how to do that. Finally, we are not saying don't be happy, don't enjoy. Actually, you can enjoy in a spiritual way. It's not that just materially. Okay, we are not saying don't sacrifice time for spiritual life, for sense gratification. We are not saying that you give up your sense gratification, just be spiritual. See, I'll show you a picture. This is a picture from last October of many students in Delhi. They're from Delhi. They went to Vrindavan. So in ISKCON, there's this systematic spiritual education such that when people begin life and start, they're able to be very well spiritually situated and peaceful, satisfied in life. The question is now, enjoy now, enlighten later. Okay, so we are not saying enlighten, we are not saying you enlighten now, don't enjoy. We are saying enlighten now. Do you remember the title of today's program? Enlighten, enjoy now, enlighten later. So by speaking, I'm not saying that you become enlightened and don't enjoy. I'm saying you enlighten and enjoy both at the same time. And if I give any formula where you are not happy, it won't work. How to know whether some path is practical? If people can stay on it and follow many years, you can understand this is something, because it's greater than whatever material things happiness is coming. Okay, so it's a great asset if somebody, especially at a young age, can come to a spiritual, some level of knowledge and practice, then begin their life. They'll never be affected by this material world. Otherwise, people are suffering because previously, generation by generation, the spirituality, religion has come depleting. Now our generation is almost gone, hardly. And schools have committed not to do anything religious. And many people are saying government shouldn't be religious, schools shouldn't be. Oh, then where will you get the religious knowledge and practice? So now it's become crucial. It's affecting people. Because as spiritual beings, we have to be on a spiritual path. So it's very important that at a young age, this age, at youth, people should come to an understanding of their identity, this material world and everything, understand this world. As we begin and live through it, everything will make sense. I remember I read one observation by an army man who came to India, American. He said in America, whatever small war happens, all the soldiers come back very disturbed. They have something, what is called a post-traumatic, post-traumatic war syndrome, something, or PTS, something, post-traumatic syndrome, war, something to do with war. They see the horrors of war and they get permanently disturbed. They cannot take it. Very disturbed. Or especially if they come back crippled, it's very, very disturbing for them. And he said, there's nothing so much like that in India, he observed. He said in India, when there's a war, there's great suffering, people die, people are able to reconcile and go on. Of course, they don't forget. It's something very distressing, but it doesn't affect so much. So by quoting this, one of our spiritual leaders explained that because India had built in such a, that from birth we are understanding about soul, karma, all this thing, and we are told just accept and move on. Just accept what is the destiny. Of course, you try to deal with it, but if you can't, take it as a something that has to happen, and just move on. See, like we get sick, so we try to heal it through medicine or whatever. And if it's not, just okay, that is my destiny. Bhagi, this is it. What can we do? So, if at a young age, people can imbibe principles, this is real happiness. They'll be happy. They'll not be affected by so many issues that people are getting affected now. Why? Proper understanding. Who am I? I am a soul. What is the duty of the soul? I am eternal servant of God. But at the present moment, I am undergoing birth and death according to my desires of the past life. If something bad happens, I try to stop it. If I am not able to, I understand this is something I have to go through. So go through it. But whether bad or good is happening in my life, my main activity is to inculcate spiritual knowledge and get liberation from this material world. This material world is explained in Bhagavad Gita as a place of suffering inherently. It's mentioned in 2 words, dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Krishna says, mamupitita kaunteya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam na pluvonti mahatmana samsiddhim paramamriti. Those who take shelter of me, they'll not return to this world of sadness and suffering. Why is it suffering, this world? Because I am a soul, but it's a material world. It's incompatible. How can a soul try to enjoy in a material world? It's not possible. You may say, no, I can have fun. Now if I walk out here, I can have so much fun. Actually, that fun is, it's illusory, it's not factual. And the proof is, whatever you're enjoying now, after many years you may not. Or the same thing you enjoy again, after some time you get fed up, I won't do this, it's too much. This is the proof, it's not natural. So my point is, if we inculcate this knowledge, we spend our youth to come to a good spiritual fixed point, then our life will be sublime. And we'll know what to endeavor for in life. Jivasa tattva jigyasa. Goal of life is self-realization. Okay? And we may be absorbed in whatever activities we are, work-related, in family, etc. But we have to understand the main component of life is that we have to endeavor for self-realization. So, while someone has strength, while someone has intelligence, time, clarity in life, they should use this to advance spiritually as much as they can. And what about happiness? This is the greatest happiness. You see, like many people, students, working people have taken shelter of this movement, like these people. They are following all the principles we follow. But they're in a worldly life, family, working. But I don't think any of them is sad. Can you see? No one is in depression, suffering. Happiness will come automatically on a spiritual path. We don't have to make great endeavor to follow. So, it will be a great effort, a great asset, and finally it will fructify into spiritual realization and liberation later in life. So we have to, at this stage, use the youth in a wise way. It's not that we turn fully away from these things, as a very common thing Prabhupada would say. Material happiness is like salt. You can't get too much, but you can't get too little. You balance it. But spiritual life should be a component of life. So, enlighten now, not later. Okay, Hare Krishna. Any questions? What we discussed? That we are a soul. Knowledge of soul should be acquired at an early age. Understand? Okay, no questions? Alright. So I'll just finish off with a few points. That now we'll have prasadam. Okay. After that, there'll be some books, a table. Okay. Now whatever we spoke, for some of you it's new. So do try to take some small books which are explaining principles of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Dharma, and try to get knowledge in this way. Okay. And every day here we have a morning Srimad Bhagavatam class, 7:15, whoever's conscious at that time. 7:15 is Aarti, Kirtan, followed by Bhagavatam class. Everyone is welcome to attend. Okay. Okay, so I close this topic. Now, one other point here is this is pertaining to people who are old coming here, okay, from before. That I've been speaking to some of you about a new group, WhatsApp Sadhana group. Okay, do you understand what is sadhana? Of course, it's a name, but sadhana has a meaning: regulated daily spiritual activities. Okay, some of you who are old here, some of you are chanting Hare Krishna on Mala, some of you are reading. So, you know, you've been telling me that I'm not able to be consistent in my spiritual practice. So this is one idea, it's common, is that we make a group, a WhatsApp group, okay? And in this group, for helping our spiritual practice of chanting and reading, it's for those who chant and daily and read books and want help to be consistent. Okay, so what will happen is, daily they will post the number of rounds chanted, as well as the time that they read books, spiritual books, and lectures heard. Okay. So, right. So now, if by seeing someone's practice is not picking, we can understand and speak with them about it. Okay. One who wants to take part, in fact, we made the group, as you know, some of you are already in the group. I added some of you after telling you. So for the rest of you who want to be part of it, you have to be committed to post daily. Explain that I chanted this many rounds, I heard lecture, and this. Okay, now there's a format. Okay, whoever wants to be part of it, give your names to Aditya. He's outside there. Is Aditya here? Okay, no. Let's make it simple. Not everyone knows Aditya. There's Hans. Hans. Give your name to Hans, who wants to be in this group. Basically, people who are reading and chanting from before. It's not for so new people. What is the format? Yeah, gives names to Hans. Okay, format is this. It looks complicated. Don't worry, I'll explain you. You see, we'll put number of rounds chanted / in the group / the time that we spent reading books, the second category. Third, time that we heard a Srila Prabhupada lecture, maybe 30 minutes of a lecture program. So, example 1, chanted 4 rounds, read 30 minutes, heard a 45-minute lecture. Who knows what will be the format for this? 04 /30 / correct. Okay, that's it. You got it? Okay, one more. Chanted 4 rounds, did not read, but heard a 30-minute lecture. What do you think, Surya?
4/0/30.
Yeah, correct. Okay, you got it. So daily you just put this number. Everyone will understand. Okay. Are you added? You are not added yet. Okay. We told you about it. Anyway, some people are there. Okay. So you got it. This is the group. Whoever wants to be part, just tell Hans. Okay. But you have to be committed daily. I mean, people are serious to chant, read. Put your score, and then we can follow. Okay, Hare Krishna, we finished. Okay, so those who are new, thank you for coming every Sunday. Welcome. Okay, we'll be messaging, and even if you don't message, you can come every Sunday. Message will come. Okay, Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki. Okay, so please gradually you can just put on that light. Hariman, put on the back light. Roll up these mats.